Last night, I pulled over on a dark road. The stars filled my windshield, and that question crashed into my mind. What's the real point of all this? That question haunts every human on earth. Buddhism's answer? The meaning of life isn't something you find. It's something you stop searching for. That night, this truth hit me so hard I couldn't drive for an hour. And when you hear it, you might need to sit down too. Like a bubble, like a dream. Everything that exists is transient. These words from the Diamond Sutra changed my entire perspective on life's meaning. You know that feeling when you finally see something that was right in front of you all along? Buddhism showed me something about life's meaning that was hiding in plain sight. Hey guys, Wisdom0609 here from Buddha's Wisdom. Most of us chase purpose like it's a prize we need to catch, only to end up exhausted and empty. Buddhism saw through this trap thousands of years ago. While the world pushes you to discover your destiny, follow your dreams, and find yourself, Buddhism reveals something radically different. This ancient wisdom doesn't just change how you think about meaning, it transforms how you experience every breath, every moment, every part of being alive. The power of this insight shook me to my core, and now I'm going to show you why. Think about this. Every time you scroll through social media, someone's telling you to find your purpose or discover your calling. I used to think that too. Man, I spent years jumping from one passion to another, meditation retreats, career changes, even living in a van for a while. The more I searched for meaning, the more stuck I felt. Crazy thing is, that's exactly what Buddha warned us about. Here's what hit me like a truck one day. Imagine you're watching a movie, but instead of enjoying it, you keep pausing every scene asking, what's the meaning of this movie? What's its purpose? You totally miss the actual movie. That's what we're doing with our lives. We're so busy searching for meaning that we're missing life itself. As the Buddha himself said, do not go after the past, nor lose yourself in the future, for the past no longer exists, and the future is not yet here. Buddhism drops this mind-blowing truth bomb. The question, what's the meaning of life, is like trying to grab air. The harder you squeeze, the less you hold. It's not that life lacks meaning, it's that we're asking the wrong question entirely. Buddhist masters noticed something remarkable. The people most obsessed with finding their purpose were often the most miserable. Why? Because they turned life into a problem to solve instead of an experience to live. Last Tuesday, I met James at my local coffee shop. Harvard graduate, successful tech startup founder, picture-perfect family. But there he was, hands shaking around his third espresso, telling me how empty he felt inside. I checked all the boxes, he said, but I still wake up at 3 a.m. wondering what it's all for. Sound familiar? That's the trap. Buddhism says we've got it backwards. We don't need to find meaning. We need to stop turning meaning into this giant monster chasing us around. This reveals something crucial. Buddhism isn't saying, just give up and accept meaninglessness. Not even close. What the ancient masters discovered is way more revolutionary. They found that the meaning of life is like your breath. It's already there. But the moment you try to control it, you mess up its natural flow. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The surprising thing about Buddhism's first noble truth? It's not some ancient downer, it's actually the key to freedom. Buddha straight up said, life feels unsatisfying. Not sometimes, not when things go wrong, but as a basic fact. Mind-blowing, right? Most people hear this and think Buddhism's all doom and gloom. But stick with me, this is where things get good. While Western philosophy often sees life's meaning as something to discover or create, Buddhist wisdom offers a radically different perspective. Eastern thought doesn't try to solve the puzzle of meaning. It questions why we treat it as a puzzle at all. This isn't just a cultural difference. It's a fundamentally different way of experiencing life. Remember that coffee shop guy searching for his purpose? His problem wasn't that he couldn't find meaning. His problem was thinking something was wrong, because he felt unsatisfied. See, we've been sold this story that once we find our purpose, everything clicks into place and we feel complete. But look around, even people who seem to have it all figured out still feel that itch, that sense that something's missing. So here's the freedom formula. Buddha dropped on us. The more we chase satisfaction, the more it runs away. It's like trying to catch your shadow. You can run forever, but you'll never grab it. The emptiness we feel, it's not because we're broken or missing something. It's because we're playing a game we can't win. Thich Nhat Hanh puts it perfectly. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. My own breakthrough came when I was at this tech startup, crushing it, doing what I thought was my purpose. Dream job, right? But every achievement just led to wanting more. One night, working late, it hit me. The happiness I was chasing wasn't at the end of any path. The path itself was the trap. This is where Buddhism flips the script completely. Instead of trying to fill the emptiness, what if, and this is huge, what if the emptiness is actually the doorway to freedom? Think about it like this. When you stop trying to fill a cup that's already full, you suddenly notice it's been overflowing the whole time. But Buddhism takes it even further. The real power move isn't just accepting that life feels unsatisfying. It's understanding why this is actually perfect. When we stop fighting against this basic truth, something magical happens. The pressure drops, the chase ends, and in that space, that's where real freedom begins. And you know what's truly nuts? The moment you get this, I mean really get it, your whole life transforms. Not because you found some grand purpose, but because you've stopped letting that search run your life. It's like finally putting down a heavy backpack you didn't even know you were carrying. This leads us to something even more mind-bending about what Buddhist masters discovered about living a fulfilled life. Let me share something that happened to my friend Sarah. She spent 10 years building a nonprofit that provided art therapy for trauma survivors. Her office walls were covered with thank you letters, and her phone constantly buzzed with messages from grateful families. This was her calling until COVID hit. Within 3 months, the funding vanished. But here's what shocked her most, watching her identity crumble alongside her organization. I realized I had become my work, she told me, and when it disappeared, I didn't know who I was anymore. She didn't just lose her work, she lost her sense of purpose. Her suffering wasn't from losing the nonprofit. It came from clinging to what she thought gave her life meaning. Here's what Buddhist masters figured out. We suffer because we grip too tightly to the story of who we should be. Think about it like holding sand. Squeeze too hard, and it slips right through your fingers. But keep your palm open, and the sand stays right there. That's how meaning works too. Check this out. There's this old Zen story about a monk who spent 20 years searching for enlightenment. One day, he was sweeping leaves, totally focused on just sweeping, no big thoughts about meaning or purpose. And boom! That's when it hit him. The meaning he had chased for decades? It was in the simple act of sweeping leaves. The search had kept him from seeing what was right in front of him. Now, this is where most people get Buddhism wrong. They think it's about giving up or not caring. But that's not it at all. Take my neighbor Mike, a professional musician, totally passionate about his craft. But he was so obsessed with making it that he stopped enjoying music itself. One day, he decided to let go of the pressure to succeed. And guess what? His music got better. He started booking more gigs. By releasing his death grip on meaning, he actually found it. The real twist? Buddhist masters teach that fulfillment isn't something you achieve. It's what's left when you stop trying to achieve it. It's like when you're having an amazing conversation with friends and you completely forget to check your phone. That's it. That's the sweet spot. You're not trying to make the moment meaningful. You're just fully in it. I tested this myself. For 1 week, I stopped asking if what I was doing was meaningful enough. I just started showing up fully for whatever was happening, doing dishes, talking to strangers, writing scripts for you guys. Something shifted. Life didn't become more meaningful. I just stopped missing the meaning that was already there. Buddhist masters have this saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The actions don't change. What changes is how we experience them. The meaning isn't in what you do, it's in how completely you show up for it. This brings us to the really practical stuff. Actual tools you can use to experience this shift yourself. Let me tell you about this experiment I did last month. 3 simple Buddhist practices, 30 days, no expectations. Just pure curiosity. What happened next? Totally changed how I experienced life. But before I share these practices, you need to know these aren't your typical live your best life tips. These are ancient tools that cut straight to the core of experiencing meaning. First practice, the morning death meditation. Sounds dark, right? But stay with me. Every morning I spent 2 minutes remembering that this day might be my last. Not in a depressing way, in a wake up and smell the coffee way. When you really get that nothing lasts forever, something clicks. That argument with your mom? Not so important. That sunset? Suddenly beautiful. My friend Tom tried this after his burnout. Now he says he finally knows what it means to be alive. Second practice, what Buddhists call the observer. Throughout the day, catch yourself wanting things to be different, wanting a better job, wanting more followers, wanting life to have more meaning. Just notice the wanting. Don't judge it. Don't try to stop it. Watch it like you're watching clouds pass. Lisa, one of our viewers, tried this for a week. She realized she spent hours each day mentally rewriting her life instead of living it. Third practice, full engagement. Pick one everyday activity, brushing your teeth, walking to the bus, whatever. Do it like it's the most important thing in the universe. Feel every sensation. When your mind wanders to more important things, bring it back. Sounds simple? That's the trick. The meaning we chase out there, it's hiding in these tiny moments. These practices transform not just your inner world, but how you show up in your community and work. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on earth." This simple truth reveals itself when we fully engage with each moment. Here's what's fascinating about impermanence. It's not just that things change, it's that change itself is what makes life rich. Think about your favorite song. If every note lasted forever, it wouldn't be music. It's beautiful because it flows, because each note appears and disappears. That's not just poetry, that's how meaning works. Let me share what happened with my brother. He lost his tech job, thought his life was over, and started these practices out of desperation. 6 months later, he's teaching coding to kids. Says he finally gets it. Meaning isn't in the job title, it's in the moments when he sees a kid's eyes light up. He stopped chasing the perfect career and started showing up for what's right in front of him. The transformation happens when you flip the script. Instead of asking, "What's the meaning of this moment?" ask, "How fully can I live it?" That's not just a mental shift. It's a complete reboot of how you experience being alive. But here's the real kicker about these practices. Let me drop something heavy on you, something that took me years to really get. Buddhism says, you're already complete. Not you'll be complete when, not you're complete, if you're complete right now, reading these words. Sounds crazy, right? But this insight shatters everything we've been taught about self-improvement. Think about a wave in the ocean. Does it ever stop and ask, am I enough? No, because it's not separate from the ocean, and neither are you. You're not broken. You're not lost. You're already home. The Buddhist words ring true here. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Here's the power move that changed everything. Instead of chasing the next moment, drop into this one. Not because this moment is special, but because it's the only moment that's real. Your breath right now, the weight of your body, the sounds around you. That's not just meditation talk. That's where life actually happens. Want to try something wild? Next time you're stuck in traffic, instead of wishing you were somewhere else, zoom in on the present moment. Feel the steering wheel. Notice the colors of the cars. Listen to the sounds. You might discover that the meaning you're seeking isn't hiding in some future achievement. It's right here, in the middle of what you think is boring. It's been with you this whole time. The only question is, Are you willing to see it? My friend Kate started doing this simple practice. She sets 3 random alarms during the day. When they go off, she stops and notices 5 things about the present moment. After 2 weeks, she told me, life feels like it's in HD. Not because anything changed, but because she stopped waiting for life to start. The meaning trap has a back door, and that back door is realizing there's no trap at all. You're not stuck. You're not lost. You're not incomplete. The search for meaning is like looking for your glasses while wearing them. The moment you see this, really see it, everything shifts. Buddhism's big revolutionary move isn't giving you something new to believe in. It's showing you how to drop the beliefs that make you feel separate from life. When you stop trying to get somewhere, you might notice you're already home. And this brings us to the final piece. Now you might be thinking, this sounds great, but my mind races constantly, or I barely have time to breathe, let alone meditate. Here's the beauty of the Buddhist approach. It works especially well when life gets messy. Each distraction becomes an invitation to practice. Every busy moment offers a chance to wake up. The key isn't to clear your schedule. It's to bring clear awareness to whatever is already happening. Remember that night I told you about, sitting in my car under the stars, wrestling with life's meaning. I never imagined the answer would be so simple and so revolutionary. Here's what Buddhism taught me. Life's meaning isn't some hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. It's happening right now, in this breath, in these words between us. Look, you don't need to move to a monastery or become a full-time meditator. You can have goals, dreams, and ambitions. The secret is shifting how you hold them, like a bird perched on a branch. Not too tight, not too loose. Your purpose might be teaching, healing, creating, or raising an amazing family. Do it fully, but don't let it become a cage. Take these 3 things with you. 1. Meaning comes alive in the moments you stop chasing it. 2. You're already complete. Everything else is extra credit. 3. The ordinary stuff? That's where the magic hides. That boring commute, those dishes in the sink, this video you're watching right now, it's all sacred when you show up for it. Here's what you can do right after this video. Pick one normal activity today. It could be eating lunch, walking your dog, or even scrolling your phone. Do it like it's the most important thing in the universe. Feel it fully. When your mind wanders to more important things, smile and come back. That's not just a practice, that's the whole game. The craziest part? Once you taste this truth, you can't untaste it. You'll still have ups and downs, but you'll stop feeling like you're missing something essential. Because you're not. You never were. Let me know in the comments, what ordinary moment in your life might actually be extraordinary? What if the meaning you're seeking is hiding in plain sight? Share your thoughts below. I read every comment. And if this video shifted something for you, hit subscribe and join our growing community of wisdom seekers. We're exploring Buddhist insights every week, uncovering truths that transform how we live. Until next time, remember, you're not watching your life story, you're living it. Right now. That's all there is, and that's everything. Peace out, Wisdom family.